want to take you back to a moment in my life where everything I thought I built on a firm foundation collapsed. I found myself sitting alone in my apartment, no noise, no direction, silence, no idea what was supposed to happen next. My husband had left, and in one day, my world collapsed and my marriage was over. And in that moment, it wasn't just a relationship I lost. I lost my sense of safety. I lost my stability. I lost confidence. And I lost my identity. I didn't know who I was without the identity and life I had built around that marriage. Fear gripped me. Anxiety moved right on in. And it felt like everything I poured myself into disappeared overnight, and I was left sitting in the aftermath trying to figure it all out. All I could see around me was ashes. And if you've ever walked through anything like this, or betrayal, adultery, divorce, or a loss that stripped you of not just someone you love, but who you are, it stripped you of you. You are not alone. My name is Jennifer, and this is Beauty in the Ashes. And this is the beginning of a story I want to share with you. I never thought I'd be sharing it publicly, but here we are. So I want to give you a little bit of context. My husband and I have been married for a few years, and he got a job offer, and we decided to relocate from North Carolina to California. From the outside, it probably looked like a fresh start. It felt really good. It's kind of scary, but here we go, And once we settled in, something just shifted. The connection we once had, it faded. The intimacy, the warmth, the love, it disappeared. Conversations felt strained, like, who are you? We didn't know each other. There were more nights apart than together, and silence and contention filled our home versus the laughter that was once there. And I remember constantly asking myself this question, like, what is happening? What changed? Is it me? Where's my husband's heart? Like, all of these questions that I didn't have answers to. I was trying to make sense of it all and hold things together at the same time. But eventually there was a moment where the truth could no longer be avoided. And just like that, the life I thought was a long life I would live with someone, it collapsed. He packed his things and he left. And I was left sitting there alone, 3,000 miles away from home and any friends that I knew. I remember sitting in that apartment and thinking over and over, not again, not again. Because the pain I felt, it wasn't new. It felt very familiar. That pain felt old, older than the marriage itself. It was as if this loss reached back into places in my heart that had been wounded years prior, long before this relationship ever existed. And I began to realize that this wasn't just about a marriage ending. This pain had roots. This pain was deep rooted. This was like seeds planted years ago. Seeds of abandonment, seeds of rejection. And they were slowly growing in my life beneath the surface. They were growing in my heart. And now in this moment, it felt like those seeds had produced something that could no longer be ignored. I started to notice a pattern. um, other relationships with similar endings, similar disappointments, similar feelings of being rejected or abandoned or left, or and it is sitting in the silence and the overwhelming thoughts in my mind. I wasn't just dealing with grief, it was also fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over. How do you even start over? Fear that this was just how life was going to be. Fear of starting over 3,000 miles away from home. All I could see around me was ashes, the remnants of something that had burned down. Ashes represent loss, represents devastation, and it's what's left when there's nothing left. And I think a lot of people end up experiencing this type of pain or loss in their lives at some point, maybe after a divorce or a betrayal, or after just losing something that mattered really deeply to you. And can we agree that ashes feel very final? They make you think, this is it. There's nothing left to build with. There's nowhere to go from here. But what I didn't understand at that time was that ashes aren't just what's left after the loss. They're what you're left sitting in when everything familiar has been stripped away. And even though in that moment I didn't have any answers, I didn't know what was going to come next, something was happening. Something was happening in my life. I just couldn't see it yet. But I look back and I see God's hand in every decision, every day. At that point in my life, I wasn't focusing on healing or meaning and what all of this meant. I was simply just trying to survive. I wanted to live to see the next day. I was in a state of survival mode, and I didn't know how to move forward. I didn't know what rebuilding even looked like. All I knew was that everything that I built was reduced to ash. But what I didn't realize was this was not the end of my story. And in the next video, I am going to share with you what began to happen in the middle of those ashes and how the place I thought marked the end of everything, it really became the beginning of something I never could have expected. This is Beauty in the Ashes, where we find beauty in life's brokenness. Bye for now.